Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Laura with Stitchin with Laura. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is having a great Sunday. Well, today we're going to be working on my beaded cross stitch that I got from the Matryoshka Lovely store at AliExpress. Almost forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. So is everybody having a good weekend and good Sunday and all that? Yeah. It's a Sunday, which means tomorrow's Monday. How depressing. Yeah, it's amazing how we get right to Monday again. Yeah, I thought we'd work on this for a change. I'm working on this side piece here. I gotta figure out which way I gotta go, because you always want to keep your threads going in the right direction, or in the same direction, I should say. So whether you start left, or going right, all you gotta do is put a half cross stitch. I saw, what do you call it? Oh, good gravy. Lovecraft Forever, Natalia, and she had hers out. Well, and it didn't start, I mean, she did something very unique, and I admire her for it. She got a cross stitch, and it was done in two colors, I believe, red and black, and then it's done on a white background. She said it was a Ukrainian design, and that's the way that they were done, is in red and black. Well, instead of using or stitching the project, because it was a cross stitch, she decided to use beads where the crosses were. You know, where you're supposed to cross stitch. So I thought that was going to be pretty cool. My problem coming in with that is I would never be able to figure out what size beads, I'd actually need. So I've just never done that. It'd be kind of cool to do, though, because it'd all be laid out for you and you just change the beads. I think you could probably do that with one of the blue and white ones. That something that was blue and white. I think that would be pretty. So I've never changed out the beads, the cross stitching for beads. So I thought that was pretty cool. Way to go, Natalia. But it got me to thinking, I got that beaded cross stitch. Yeah. And this is so easy to do, and it's so relaxing. And I have my bead mat here. I got, I think it came 12 in a package of mats. I gave some of them away, but I kept one for myself, because you never know. And somebody told me all you have to do, if it gets a lot of fuzzies and stuff on it, is just rinse it right off, and let it air dry, and it's good to go again. So, didn't know that. I've never used these until I got these. I mean, I heard about them from people that were doing diamond paintings and stuff. So, and I wanted to try them, and they weren't too expensive, I think for 12 it was under $10. So, I thought that was a pretty darn good deal. And I haven't worked on my beaded cross stitch in a while. I like beaded cross stitch, and I like these kits from Matryoshka Lovely because they have plastic beads, and so it makes the whole piece, once you finish it, lighter weight. Whoa. Now if I could just get me a bead that wasn't connected to another bead, we'd have it made. And I really like using that sticky pad when I'm doing this on my big one, because it'll kind of adhere itself lightly. I mean, it's not a permanent thing by any means, to like my beaded tiger, and I can just lay the pad there and put out a few beads and go for it. Yeah. Trying to find the hole. There we go. Think I'd never cross stitched before. Oh, my granddaughter, she gets so aggravated that she can't find that hole. I know, it's all in the game. And I'm pretty sure I was probably frustrated as well in the beginning. Going underneath, you know, and trying to find the hole. Now, back in the day, I wasn't working on Ada. Like, back when I was little, I was using, excuse me, the cloth that had the marked X's on it. So, I think it's much easier to stitch on Ada than it would be on that crazy cloth. Whoops. Okay, we'll just leave it there. Never mind. I was going to turn it around, but it's kind of stuck, if you will, to the to this little pad. So if I move it, and the mat itself, the little bead mat, needs to be cleaned. When I touch it, it's sticky, but it's not holding the beads down, so I probably have to rinse it off and clean it, just like I would my jelly plates when I do jelly printing. I just wash those and let them sit, because heaven knows I got 3 or 4 of those. You know, I told you about this yesterday in the live. You know, I have enough, what do you call it, crafts to support a lifetime here, because heaven forbid you get bored. Oh, and who was I watching? I was watching somebody this morning, and they went to a store in Maryland, and they did a little, what do you call it? You know, not a review, a tour of this store, and they sell wool. And they have all different kinds of patterns, you know, for wool applique and, what do you call it? What is that? Punch needle. I don't do punch needle. But I am in love with wool applique. I can't get wool here, so I would have to order it. And it didn't look like it was too terribly, you know, expensive. What I'd like to do is get one of those, you know how they do the fat quarters when you're quilting, and it has a bundle of so many. What the heck is going on here? Find the hole, Laura. We're having a heck of a time today. Get one of those things, you know, where it's got like 4 or 5 different colors, I'll say, and they're all bundled together, and you buy at one price. Because you could collect material, just like I did for quilting, left and right, for sure. I knew that was going to happen. I am using 3865 for holding down the beads. But yeah, I would like to get, you know, like a sampler pack, if you will, of materials. And I've always, holy cow, sorry guys, wanted to make, there's a pink one right there. Oh my goodness, didn't know this was going to be so difficult. A penny rug, and, you know, they've got lots of patterns, and I'm sure that they even had kits that were put together already, so, you know, you didn't have to buy a great enormous amount of material. You know, even a fat quarter would be almost too much if you were just going to do piecing, but I like applique, but I don't like turn needle applique. That just drives me straight over the edge. Yeah, no. But that wool, you know. So I've always wanted to do either a penny rug, you know, not very big, and or something that had the pennies and stuff. They had a pattern of, I'll call it a Christmas tree. I'm not real sure what it is. You know, that had different sizes of those pennies on there, and then you just do the blanket stitch. Oh, I can do the blanket stitch till the end of time if I had to. But I just like the way it looks. I really do. And I've always wanted to do a penny rug. So, never got to it because I was never exposed in a big enough place where they had, what do you call it? Oh, come on. Really? Are we going to do this game? No, it's not happening. Where is it? We're just going to cut us another piece of thread. Never been any place where they had wool, you know. And I did a lot of applique with just plain cotton material. Oh, that was just absolutely brilliant. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'll show you. We'll fix it. So I just never got into it. But I just think they're nice and neat and pretty. You know, there's not much to it. Now, the applique that I was doing before, I'd have to iron a piece of material onto that fusible web stuff, then cut it out, and then take the piece of paper off, and then iron them down, and then do the back stitching. Yeah, not back stitching, but the blanket stitch. So, yeah. I think I used 3, but 2 is fine. We're going there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the piece I cut, just so that because it might jump up and get loose. Let me get rid of that needle a minute. And I'm just going to tie a knot onto that short piece, if I can. There we go. And that way it won't go anywhere. Every once in a while I screw up, so that was me screwing up and fixing it. Oh, come on. Jeepers. And I'm going to come down here so I take up the slack, so to speak. I like to have a long piece of thread so I can take it over there and pick up my color. Or my bead. But yeah, I'm interested to see what Natalia's picture looks like when she's done. I thought that was pretty ingenious. Way to go, Natalia. You're so smart. See, I would order about 9 different kinds of beads, and none of them would be the right size. And I know these are way too big for that. This is done on 9 count, what do you call it? 9 count Ada. It's like the next size bigger from 11. But these beads are bigger than seed beads. So yesterday, not much happened. Not at all. Got done with the live and I had to go take a nap. It's just, I can't get enough sleep this week. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Come on. You silly Billy. Move. I guess I could have turned this around, but, you know, it'd have been too easy, right? Some days I'm just silly. But I like working on beaded cross stitch. It's so easy and it's repetitious, and I'm glad this isn't a big picture like my tiger. My tiger's huge. I just love it, but you know, I can only work on it a little bit at a time. So that's why I drag them out every once in a while. To make some kind of progress on them. But when I got this, I didn't want anything too big. So that's why I got this smaller one. And it's, it doesn't say, no. Oh, it says 100. Now that means 100 squares across and 100 squares down, but that isn't how big it is. The actual picture is only like 11 1/4, possibly by 11 1/4. Yeah, well, no, by 10 1/2. So it's a little bit wider than it is up and down. So it's not too bad. And it comes with 2 needles and the threads. I don't know where that thread is right now, do I? Yeah, I do. It's right here. It comes with a big old spool of this white thread. And I just don't, I hate having to thread it. It's okay, but, you know, I like my DMC because it's cotton and it lays different. That acts like it has a little nylon in it, so it gets real flyaway, if you will. So I just use white DMC because you're never going to see it on this because the beads are so big and where you're stitching. Now, you might not be able to get away with that with something smaller. But since these beads, you can kind of see how big. Whoa, come back here, little Sheba. Did I ever see that movie? That was a horrible movie. Yeah, that was one of those movies from the 60s, I think, and I can't think of that lady's name that was in it, but I never really cared for her. I think she was in, oh dear. She did a lot of black and white movies in the 60s. I wouldn't call them B movies, but you know what I mean. And I can't think of her name. I want to say her name is Shirley Booth, but I'm not real sure that that's even right. But I didn't ever like her. She was scary back when I was little. And I never could stand Geraldine Page. She was always scared too. Not that the part was scary, but, you know. I got 2 more beads here. Really? Another pitfall of having a great big long thread. It kind of tangles. I'm looking. And we'll do this last one and get rid of that bead. That way I don't have to put them back. But it doesn't take you very long to cover ground on these, which is nice. And I keep them all in these little round containers. They come 30 in a box. I got that also from Amazon. I've ordered, God, probably 6 or 8 of them at this point. I got my first set of them when I was but doing diamond paintings, and I got, you know, if you got something or spent over a certain amount, you got a free box of these things to hold your beads in. or your diamonds. Yeah. And I really like them because they have a screw top. And they just screw on, and so if you drop it, they're pretty thick plastic, so they don't shatter, you know. I mean, if you dropped them on concrete, from a distance, they might shatter, but here, I haven't had that problem. Of course, there's a pink one right there. There's 3 or 4 pink ones, so we'll just go get us some more pink. That's why I try and like go in a line and do like all that color and then do that color and then do the next color. You don't have to, oh, is that pink or is that orange? You know what I mean? I don't want a whole bunch. I just want to set that thing down somewhere. Of course the plastic stuck. Because I have upset these beads and it takes like, it just seems like a year to get them picked up, and I'm still picking them up off this mat from when I spilled them some other time. But at least they don't roll off the table, which is a good thing, because I have this shelf liner, rubberized shelf liner type stuff, so they fall into the holes and you don't see them until, oh, it's there, you know, 6 weeks later when you're stitching on something. Get these all taken care of. And some people, they get out, you know, 3 or 4 colors. What is the problem? There we go. Jeepers. Oop. That was my fault. Normally those stay there. But I ran the edge, and it's pretty stiff. Come on. And I think this kit was, I know it was under $30, but I'm sure it wasn't too expensive. Maybe $20, $25. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. And I didn't spend that much to get a bigger one, you know, when I got the tiger. So that wasn't too bad. I think it was like $35, and it's huge. It's like the bigger the kit there, the cheaper, you know, the better deal you can get. It just depends how much you want to really do this, you know. Come on. Usually I'm working with my beaded mat right here on this, but it's so small I just set it aside. And then I can stitch from there. They've had this pattern there, God, for 2 or 3 years. Because I can remember looking at it and I thought, oh God, I got to do that on black. You know, Ada. That wasn't happening. Never thought about the whole background being actually black. Oh yeah, it is black. As you can see, I started some of the black background. And I like this material because it doesn't cinch up. It's very nice. And no matter where you go in the pattern, it's not crimped and you don't have to lay it flat. You know, like some some beaded cross stitch is done on, let's call it satin or satin-like material. I hate that. And it just, I love the patterns. They're beautiful. But stitching on that satin stuff, I cannot do it. Because it just cinches, every time you put a bead in, it's kind of like doing embroidery if you didn't use a hoop. You know what I mean? But I don't have a hoop. I probably do now, but at the time I didn't have a hoop big enough to put it in, because that's what you'd need, or a small enough lap stand to put it in, because the one I have is only about that wide. What is that, like less than 12 inches? 8, 9 inches across? Yeah. It's not happening for me. So I just kind of lost interest. It's a beautiful pattern. But I just don't like the way that material works. I like this much better. And I have roses. Somebody else was working on the roses one from Atrishka Lovely, and they finished it. Me? No, it's still in my... I have a separate storage container for my beaded cross stitch to differentiate it from the rest of it. Yeah, it happens. Trying to get up here so I can start that green color. This has nice big symbols. And somebody was asking me what the symbols were all for. It's how you put the pattern in. Because every square has a different symbol or color. Sometimes there's symbols. Now this one just happens to be all colors. But sometimes part of them are solid colors, and some of them have some kind of little symbol thing going. My thread's getting short again. And of course, I can't do too much of, what do you call it? The sewing method on this, because the material is so stiff. Oh, come on. You see what I mean? It gets stuck in a hole and then I can't get it out. And the only drawback on these plastic beads is they also get very staticky. So I just take them and I pour the bag. I put a piece of dryer sheet, a couple pieces in the bag, if there's very few. And I add some air to the thing, make sure there's air in the bag, and just shake it really hard. And then I take the pieces out and put them into something else. What did I do with my thread? Really? Okay. Oh, I forgot I had my coffee pot on. I'm like, what is that noise? And most of the smoke has gone away now, so it's not too bad out there today. It blew a couple times really, really hard. So I think maybe it moved the smoke along. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. I need... Oh, there's my thread. I'm like, well, how far could it get? Hello? It's white. You'd think you'd be able to see it. But this is just kind of a nice little change of pace. It looks like I've done a lot, but I really haven't. There's a lot more to go. So I'm just kind of working my way up. I may save some of this, what do you call it, background color towards the last. I just did a little bit of it because I wanted to see what the colors would look like next to the black. And they don't have like DMC numbers on the beads. There's your color, that's what it is, you know. So it's not too bad. I watched a movie called Palms last night with Diane Keaton. I had to think what her name was. It was pretty good. And there's another couple ladies there that y'all would recognize, but I can't think of their names right off the bat. But yeah, it was alright. I wouldn't watch it again, but, you know, hey. Can't remember what else I was watching. I wanted to get rid of that. Let's see. I think. Then what I don't use, I just put, yeah, if I could just get it there. They pick up real nice. Put them back in the little container, if I can hang on to them long enough. And put the lid on, because heaven knows. Oh yeah, Lord can spill them in a... Because you can't get them to just funnel off of there, you know. Like beads on a regular piece of paper. That won't happen. Because they're meant to not move. So, whoop. Will you stop? And they get a little staticky. But we just discussed that, right? Oh my goodness. Let's see, 12. It's another pink. Surprise! Oh, yeah. Put a few out there. It's easier to lose a few than it is. I just don't want to have to pick them up. Sometimes I might not want to work on that color. So I don't know how busy work's going to be. School starts week after next. So I'm hoping they'll all go back to, well, yeah, don't do that. Do you see what I'm doing? My thread. Look, see? It's underneath. Hello. I have to come up first. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've sewn a bead on the back of these things. I've done that several times on the stupid tiger. Well, at least tomorrow is payday, finally. Holy cow. Got some things I need to do. It's been a long 15 days. I can tell you that much. There's a light green. It kind of almost blends with that crazy yellow over there. I didn't even see it until I turned the canvas in a different direction. But this will be pretty when it's done. I have another one in there, but I'm not starting it because my sister is the one that started all this. Oh yeah, I'll buy one of those. So yeah, I go to AliExpress about this and about that one, right? She was getting ready to go on vacation. We still haven't started hers. Yeah. So she is not the crafty type. Not to just drop everything and do crafts. Me, the whole world can fall apart as long as I got my crafts. Because it's just the way I am. I like doing the relaxing part. Sorry I'm not real chatty today. Just not a whole lot going on in my world. It seems to be going on outside. You know, I don't... Not too much going. That's okay. Work is enough for all of us. I'm just grateful that I only have to be there 3 days a week. Because 5 days a week at that place would just drive me nuts. And I kind of bend the material so I can see where I've got it stitched. And it works well that way. I think we got one left to do in that area. But, I mean, it goes pretty fast. I wouldn't say it extremely fast. Don't get carried away. It's not cross-stitching by any means. I can cross-stitch faster than I can do this, but it's okay. It's okay. I can figure out where I wanted to be. And some people do this on a diagonal. I do it both ways. It just depends what kind of a mood I'm in, I guess. But see, I'm working my way across. Now I'm going to have to stop here and put 3 more orangey beads right in there before I get to that corner where the green meets up with that. That way I know what color that is. So I'm going to come back and work on these so don't cage that part in. It's easier to see. last night. What did I work on? I don't even remember what I worked on. I'm always doing something. I was going to get out my, I think it's called spring. I don't know why, but... And Ching told me the actual name of it, but, you know, it was in some foreign thing and I couldn't remember. The Chinese one on the brown, but I don't know what I did with the beads. Not the beads. I'm sorry, I got beads on the brain. I don't know what I did with the threads. They're in one of those plastic bag things. Man, my hand itches. And I don't know. Some days, some stuff is just too much effort. You have days like that? It's like, no, not going there. If I can't find you in 5 minutes, we're done. Next, life is too short. I was going to look this weekend to see if I had material. Let me lay that down a minute. Oh, God. I don't have my hand lotion right here. Hand is just itching. Not on the palm. Right in between my fingers. I forgot what I was saying. Oh my God. I'm just losing it. Yeah. I don't take too long to look. I want to find that's what I was talking about. And see if I have material enough for, it's in that Autumn book, Autumn Winds book by Blackbird. Now see, I have one sticking up. I'm just going to run another thread right through it and cinch it down. Sometimes I don't pull good enough. To see if I have material to start one of those. I think I'm pretty sure it's a sampler. Yeah, it'll be good. I don't know if I have enough. You know, I can't remember how wide it is. But I want to get that and the threads together so that I can start it in September. And I don't know if I'll do the Sisters sampler or not. Or the other one about the Mighty Oak. Wanted to do both of them. I don't know. So I'll have to go look and see what material I have. Who knows? But that's a plan. You know. Alright guys, I think that's going to be it for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. And that way you'll know when my next video comes out. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye. Keep stitching.